Can you play a little snippet of the Nokia? Is it Becky? Is it Keisha? Is it Ashley? Is it Danny? Was it party? Where's the function? Right here. The function's right here. Alright, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, it's been a long time since I've done the Get to Know Me, so I thought I'd do a little update on that and go over those questions again a couple years later. The last time I did this Get to Know Me, it was 3 years ago, so we're gonna do a little refresh. I'm gonna use the same questions, maybe switch it up a little bit, because as you know, it is important to me that you know who you're watching on this YouTube channel. So what better way than to do a little refresher of a Get to Know Me, and let's get started. I'm gonna skim over some of the little details and facts that you already know from the last video. I am now 25 years old. Birthday is the same, I'm a Virgo baby. That means I am stressed out all the time. I am a perfectionist and I am constantly trying to perfect everything in my life, which is really stressful. So I am stressed out on the daily, and sometimes I just need to chill out, but I can't. So that's something I struggle with. My status now, I am now married. My favorite color has yet changed again to green. If you haven't seen my socials lately, I've literally been obsessing over the color green, and it's an unhealthy obsession at this point, but I'm okay with that. I love green. And I really hope this doesn't change, because literally everything I buy now is green. So I really hope that I will not stop liking it, because that's gonna be a big issue. My lucky number has not changed, but I don't really think about that anymore. I kind of just feel like my lucky numbers are 4 and 9. So I really try to look for those numbers if something important, or I'm trying to see a sign for something, but that has not changed. Do I have any pets? I really wish I did, but I do not. My sister has an English bulldog named Cornbread, which you will see him featured on this channel multiple times. You have then seen my childhood cat, Whisper. You haven't seen Pepper, she passed away. Whisper, he was my childhood cat. He passed away about just over a year ago. I was very heartbroken over that, but that just shows the amount of love that I had for this cat, as he was with me for most of my life, and that's something I love most about having pets, is that you are literally their best friend for their entire life. You are each other's companions, and they provide so much love and affection that no one will really ever experience that unless you have a pet or have experienced having a pet. So I highly recommend having a pet. If you're responsible, adopt, save a life. I highly recommend having pets. Having said that, okay, so since I literally thought that I would never lose or never not have enough iPhone storage, because I have so much iPhone storage on my phone, that just happened. So now we're resorting to filming on our Mac. Anyway, as I was saying, do I have any pets? Let's shorten it up. My grandmother's cat is now with my sister. She's getting pretty old. I think she's almost like 15. She's a Maine Coon, and she's starting to go blind, which is very sad. She's near her end. So that's why we give her all the love we can before that happens. My mom has newly adopted 2 cats, 2 orange tabby cats. One's Cooper and one is Jasper. You will also see them featured on this YouTube channel. Very cute little babies, so you will see them a lot more, I'm sure. And that's it for animals. Where am I from? We should all know this. Vancouver, BC. But now I am no longer living in Edmonton, Alberta. I'm living in Toronto, Ontario. What happened there? Husband's work. Husband's work brought us to Toronto, Ontario. And now we're just kind of thriving in Toronto, living our best life, enjoying the city life, and just visiting Vancouver here and there. because we need some of our outdoorsy fix, or I do at least. So you'll see me out there filming some videos, just getting into the great outdoors. So that's always exciting to see, and you'll see me post those up on my YouTube. I'm gonna add in a question. What do I find to be my favorite thing about living in a city, specifically Toronto? Being able to get everywhere, maybe quickly is the wrong word, but I'd say just being in a city in general, being around the hustle and bustle and just having everything close by is so convenient. You don't need a vehicle. I got my 2 legs. I'm gonna take my 2 legs to places, far places beyond where any car can take me in the city, because honestly, walking is faster in a city than driving, which I love. So just being right in the city, yeah, it's a little noisy, but you know what? I'm gonna enjoy it while I can before we go out to the suburbs. I also, as we also live near a hospital, and sometimes, and that's why an emergency room, sometimes you will hear people outside the emergency room sometimes. It's really sad, but they will be singing, they will be spewing out whatever it is that is on their mind, and it can be loud. That is also incorporated into our city life, and that's just what comes with it. What else do I love? I love the people here. Honestly, they're so nice, and I've surprisingly met a lot of people that are from Vancouver. That just makes me feel a little close to home, that some of my fellow Vancouver people, what is that? I didn't think I gave it a thumbs down. I gave a thumbs up. I'd say I've met a few of my Vancouver people, fellow Vancouver people. This is one of those back things. My fellow Vancouver people who have made me feel a little more closer to home. Eventually, we would love to be back in Vancouver, but for now we're enjoying that city life, the people here, meeting these new people, enjoying the food, because there's so many more food options here, especially when it comes to halal options. There's so many restaurants. Just enjoying this current chapter of our life. Yeah. I've just been listening to some of these other questions, and I can't do it. I can't do it. Some of these questions, what did I last dream about? No one wants to hear about that. So I'm gonna pull out my own little questions here that I think are gonna be a bit more interesting. We're gonna see where this goes. Here's a good one. What is your favorite childhood memory? It's not really a memory that I can recall from my childhood. This is something that is a recent memory that my mom told me about that I just wanted to share, and I'm gonna have this as my memory. My grandma, she had 6 kids, busy household, very hardworking woman. Grandpa was very hardworking. At around this time, she was working somewhere in the government, but I think she obviously couldn't work as much as she would like to because she had 6 kids. During those tight times of, say during Christmas, they would have not as much money to maybe get gifts for all of the kids. So what she would do, she was very good at sewing, so she took that into her favor and she put an ad into the newspaper, the local newspaper, to make little outfits. She would sew little outfits for kids' dolls, their Barbies, things like that. She would sell them to make more money during those times like Christmas, so she would have enough money to get, gifts for everybody. And that is something that is such a good memory that I want to keep with me, and I want to share that story as well to my kids. I just love that story. That's just something that I didn't get to bear witness to personally, but that is something that I could definitely see her doing, and that was just something that I hold close to my heart now, and I love sharing that story now. So that's why that's why I shared it with you guys today. Another good question, what is my biggest passion in life? I have been confused with this one over recent years, but now I think I've found more clarity with this question. I'd say my biggest passion is 2 things. One is to be able to see the world. I love traveling, and I just want to see all that I can of this world, and that would bring so much joy to me and bring joy into my life to get to learn about different cultures and see all these new places. That would be the most fulfilling, and that would bring me the most passion to my life. Second would be having a family that's something that these are goals that are just not obtainable at this current moment, but it's something you grow towards. It's something you continue to do, like the traveling that you continue to obtain throughout your life, and it keeps that passion as you work towards those things. And that would be, having a family. Not right now, but it will happen one day, and I know that would be such a fulfilling moment to my life. When that time comes, of course, you have to be very ready for that. That's why you don't want to rush those kinds of things. But I know that would be such a huge fulfillment, passion derived into my life. As that passion for having that family is because that's something I've always wanted for myself, is just a big family. That is a goal I've made for myself that I know I can obtain within the next few years. That would bring a lot of joy for me, as I've always wanted to be a mother, and I know I'd be a very good mother. And love to see it when that time comes. How do I define success? Everyone has a different answer to this question. I define success based on, I like to see it as I'm taking things, I like to take things day by day. As someone who has struggled with depression, you really have to take things day by day, as obtaining these big long-term goals can be very scary and cause a lot of anxiety. As someone who also suffers from anxiety, it's nice to have those goals, but nothing that's too far-fetched out of your reach. You have to start with these little, smaller goals, and as you obtain these smaller goals, it kind of builds up that confidence to then build those bigger goals. And for me that's a tough question. I'd say success is when you are at your happiest. There's no point to life when you are miserable. You could have achieved the greatest of things, but there's no point or use to that, in my opinion, when you are unhappy. Success means happiness, that you have lived your most joyful, fulfilling life, and that, in my opinion, brings that to me is living the most successful life that you could live, is you at your happiest. So whatever that may be, is these little goals that you might be obtaining. If this makes you happy, you could set those big goals. If this is what's going to make you the happiest person, great, obtain those things, but don't obtain these far-fetched things if you're going to be struggling and unhappy and just miserable. Then there's no point. That is how I define success. I'm a big mental health advocate. It was the most challenging experience I've ever had. I don't like to say challenging. I'd say just two things of just big life choices. One was when I got married, and the second was moving to another province that was way across out east. From Vancouver to Toronto, it's very opposite sides. I'd say those were the most challenging points of our life. First off, with the marriage, you're starting a new chapter. It's nerve-wracking. I knew this is something I wanted to do, but it's a scary thing as well, because it's such a big leap. But what made it easier for me is I'm taking that leap with my person, and we're doing that together, which is funny enough, the next day is when we moved across provinces to Toronto. So that was just, I'd say, the most challenging thing, is we just got married and then we moved provinces to be in Toronto by suitcases and boxes, traveled by plane. That was the most challenging, but the most fulfilling, because that was just a new experience that we had, because we were like, we did this. To be able to move together to a new city, that was very challenging, but we did it together and we did it. That was a point of the most challenging thing we've ever done, in my opinion, for what I've done. What are my long-term goals? What are my long-term goals and aspirations in life? As of right now, I'm setting I'd say long-term goals for what I have right now is just building myself up in my career that I am currently in. 2 careers, just kind of with the restaurant managing, and also because I can see a lot of growth coming from this company, and I'm very excited about it. So I want to continue to pursue that and see where that goes. So I do have my goals set within that company itself. My other goals would be separated into my content creation. So then I have my own goals for that. of where I kind of want to take this, kind of push myself to go farther in that as well. And just see, I'm very much the type of person to like, I just work my hardest towards these things and just see where it goes. If I can see the potential in something, then I continue to go for it. If I don't, then I stop. I go on to the next thing. But if I continue to see that potential and that I could take this far to where I can be really successful in something, then I continue with that and I make those little goals to keep building myself up in that company or in the social media realm, whatever it may be. So yeah, and I'd say my aspiration is to just be happy. To be happy, that's the end goal. Have a family, have a successful career, be around my other family. I'd like to be close with them as well, live close. That would be a big aspiration of mine. How do I handle stressful situations? Stressful and difficult situations. I tend to deal with this on the daily working in the restaurant business. I used to never be the calm and collected person. I think that also helps with my medication for anxiety and depression, but that is a big factor. But also I like to think and rewire my brain to think that every issue gets resolved. Panicking, being high stress, worrying about said situation or problem only causes more conflict and puts you farther away from the resolution. As when you're high stress, those situations you cannot you do not have a clear head. So when you remain, level-headed is when you best resolve situations. And to remain level-headed is, for myself, thinking that, well, I know this problem will be resolved, whether it's by me, someone else, or it ultimately will be resolved. There will be a resolution to said problem or situation. So in my opinion, there's no reason to be stressed because I know there is an end to this situation. So I just see a light at the end of the tunnel and I'm just like, everyone else around me is maybe freaking out, but I'm just like, it's okay. You always need that level-headed person to be like, it's gonna work out. You just gotta bring them right back down to ground level and be like, there's no reason to stress. I don't know, that's just kind of how I approach things and how I've been approaching things, and it's worked out for me. It's always about that mindset. It's mainly about your mindset and thinking that, and that has helped me, and hopefully maybe you can take that and it will help you. This will be my closing statement because this is gonna be too long of a video if I continue to answer said questions. There's so many questions on here that I could just keep going through. So many questions, but I'm just gonna cut this short. I'm gonna give out this one last question. What is my favorite way to spend quality time with loved ones? Currently, watching Survivor. That has been now a new addition to our nightly routine. Maybe every Wednesday night or Thursday night, watching Survivor as soon as the new episode comes out on Global. That has been one of my most favorite ways to spend quality time, whether it be that show or maybe another show that we've recently been loving to watch. And this is something that we could also spend watching with my husband's family as well. This is something that everyone loves. That's a show that everyone loves to watch, is Survivor. So that would be a top contender, or even just any movie. If we want to watch a movie, just spending quality time together watching said movie is another great way that I love to spend quality time. Another would be finding a new activity, whether it's rock climbing, zip lining, just finding a new fun adventure to do with any family member or my husband is so fun. I love spending quality time doing any new little adventure that whoever has the idea to do. And another one is taking walks to get my husband his cha, because he literally loves his cha and he is so happy to get his cha. So our little walks to get him cha, or whether if I make it, sometimes it's nice to just take a walk to get him his cha. Just taking a walk. Another favorite type of quality time. And that is the end of my video. I hope you all enjoyed. Put in the comments if you want me to answer any particular questions you may have. Might not answer all of them. It depends what the question is. And maybe I'll come back with another one sooner or later, hopefully sooner. I'll see you in my next video, which will be my vlog in Bali, Indonesia. So that will be my next video, so stay tuned for that, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.